All right. So here we are. I'm Crafty Andy. I'm sitting here with Nishoba.
Hey guys, we're going to be reading A Teen Takes Her Own Life Because of Bullying. We're going to be looking at the comments on the Young Turks, and we're going to be discussing them. Now, there's been a lot of controversy about what's going on with the comment sections on this video. Not just
among other videos.
Yeah, among other videos. But it's kind of sad because very rarely do you see this kind of bigotry. Especially on the Young Turks, you'd expect that the Young Turks would be the people.
The audience.
Yeah, the audience would be much smarter. And instead, it's just, well.
So this is in regards to Leela, who's a transgender person who took her own life recently.
She's a child.
Yes. She was born a male, and ever since she was 4, she felt like there was something wrong with her. Like she wasn't feeling right. She didn't know what a name. She didn't even have a name for it at the time. All the way up until she was 14.
Yeah.
And it took her that long. Until that point, people talk about confusion. She was confused about it. Like, why do I have these feelings until then? And of course, naturally, as we live in America here, the family was embarrassed for themselves and their Christian friends. They put her through therapy.
They put her through ex-gay therapy.
Ex-gay therapy for Christian quote-unquote counselors. If you want to even call them fucking counselors.
I wouldn't call them counselors. I'd call them
we don't want to get too much in details of this because there's plenty of articles out there, plenty of videos covering it. So we're just going to take a look at the comment section because, well, the first thing that got me going was the fact that I saw the title of this video and my first reaction was, oh, what else is new? And that right there kind of got me upset right up front because we've now, for myself at least, reached to the point where it's so common to see gay people and transgender people and queer people commit suicide over bullying that it's as fucking common as the rain. Well, and the next thing that upset me was just going through the comment section because when it comes to transgender people, it seems to me that there's this sort of anomaly where there's a lot more bullying against transgender people even within the whole gay community itself because of lack of and understanding. Willful ignorance. Am I missing anything?
You sound like you're reading off of a prompter, even though you're not, and you're not squinting. I'm just saying that you're very.
Okay, I'm talking very, my natural voice.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
You're like.
That's how I talk.
No. But yeah, there's a lot of stigma against transgender people, and it's always been kind of like for me, it's always been kind of confusing because I've never really looked at a transgender person any differently than I've looked at a normal person. So they've transitioned or they're pre-op, post-op. It doesn't matter to me. You know, whatever they believe, whatever they feel, I should say, that they believe they are, that's what they are. And it doesn't matter if they have the surgery or not to me. If the person says they're a female, then they're a female. If they say they're a male, they're male. It doesn't bother me, and it never has bothered me. It's never bothered any of my friends. Or I should say our friends, and it just really boggles me that there's this kind of bigotry and stigma even within the gay community. But then again, I know about the bigotry and stigma against bisexuals in the gay community because Andy's a bisexual, and so...
And to put it in more simple terms that almost anyone can understand, transgender is this. Your brain is in the opposite gender. That's about as layman as you can fucking get.
Let the person with a bachelor's in psych explain it.
But that's about as simple as you can get.
As simpler it can be basically is that the person is the gender they say they are. I mean, literally, I'm sorry, but they might not look exactly what we would stereotype as what a male or female should look, but who gives a flying fuck? Because honestly...
Body parts aside and everything.
Yeah, it doesn't fucking matter. It really doesn't matter. It's about what the person... who the person is mentally, and what the person's done for society, contribution-wise, or for others. It matters not what gender they are, or sexual orientation, or race, or anything like that. It really doesn't fucking matter. These categorizations that we put people in.
Here we go.
Are just stupid. So let's
roll right into this.
Yeah, let's roll into the comments.
Old Bear 303. I don't care about hiding people.
I want to read this guy.
All right,
okay,
we'll
transgender, and then in brackets, ism should be treated as a mental illness. It shares nothing in common with homosexuality either. I hate how they always get grouped together. What if I didn't want to be identified as a gender at all? Transgenderism is simply denying reality. All that being said, I have no rights to decide how people should live their own lives. You own.
That's it.
That's it. You own, and it doesn't finish off there. But anyways, this is a gay person.
Oh, there you go. Oh.
This is a gay guy, old bear. If anyone doesn't know what a bear is a fat gay person. I'm technically under gay terms a bear because, you know, the gay community, when it talks about fat's really bad, taboo, evil.
What's transgenderism? Is it a religion now to be transgender?
I don't understand it.
They put ism out over any kind of...
I know, but it's just like, this guy's just, I don't know what else to say. So he's giving a plus. Go back. Go to the view all. I want to see something real quick. So Vision says...
I don't know what he said. He must have said something earlier.
So another gay person goes, it might have something to do with being closet gay. She wants validation that it's okay to be gay. Now she's a woman.
No, that makes no fucking sense.
I mean, this is...
That's like saying, okay, I'm gay, I want to be gay, but there's a stigma against gay people, so I'm going to make myself a woman so I can be having sex with men.
Yeah,
because that would give me so much less grief from the society I live in now.
For those out there who don't understand, these are from gay men. These are from gay men like me.
We can't assume everyone is gay on here.
I know, but I can just tell they're gay because I've actually heard these fucking comments before from the gay community, and it's really fucking disgusting. Mm-hmm. It really is. This is a goddamn fucking child who took her life, who was put through the fucking ringer because of who she is, and these are the comments that gay people, of all fucking people, are doing. It's... Okay, here's a funny joke, or not a joke, I'm sorry, here's a funny little ironic twist to life. The ironic fucking twist about Bertrand Russell was that he was gay, and he helped black people pretty much end segregation. He fought with Martin Luther King Jr. He was his frickin' right-hand man and writer half the time. He was gay. Gays marched a lot in the 1960s and 70s to stop segregation, and then... we have a massive amount of homophobia in the African American community. Well, now it seems like we're doing this to transgender people. We have our fucking rights, or at least a majority of them, and I've noticed that the bigotry against transgender people just seems like it's increasing over the years. Yes, thank you for beer. But yes,
Smith and Forge, hard cider.
I mean, if I ever were to meet a gay person and they're to be transphobic anyway, I would smack them across the fucking face with my fucking knuckles. Yep. Because they deserve a good loot for having such a stupid attitude, especially considering that they're fighting the same struggle we are.
Here, I like this one. Crazy Viking.
Oh, God.
So in the video, they make the mention, you know, when do you remember when you chose to be straight? Do you remember when you chose to be straight? That's a ridiculous notion. That's what they say in the video. Humans are born straight by default. That's how our species survives. Dick goes into vagina. Babies are made. Simple biology. That's fucking science. Pretty ridiculous, huh? And then this is why I love this comment. Wow, such a smug attitude on these libs. What the fuck was all this before that? Pretty ridiculous, huh? Oh, that's not smug at all. That's just a fucking insightful window into a brain of a genius. Just makes me want to punch them in the mouth. No wonder most bullied people are libs.
Right,
wow.
So I'm gonna break this. Okay, either this guy's a troll or he's just a fucking retard. I'm sorry to say that. I know it's insensitive to people who are mentally handicapped. But let me just put it out there. Retardation, this person is. He's a fucking retard because he retards the very society we live in.
I think that's about all we can say about this one here.
I'm just...
Let's move
simple
on.
biology. What a fucking retard.
If only everyone just agreed with Crazy Viking, we would just solve this transgender issue immediately.
That motherfucker doesn't realize there was a lot of gay Vikings, and they didn't give a shit. Just to say that. They weren't all fucking Catholic.
Yeah, but I agree with you, Overlord Licorice. If anyone just looked up what the fuck it meant to be transgender. Let's keep going here.
Okay, wait, what's it?
No, it was pretty good.
That's a good one.
We're leaving those alone.
Wait, scroll up. The suicide was a male, not a woman. Gender is determined by genitalia, not mindset. The far left have ventured into truly Orwellian territory, flipping everything on its head. Okay, war is love, bad is good. Immutable facts like someone's gender can be. I'm gonna tear
What
this.
the fuck
No, I am
is he
tearing this
saying?
apart. I am tearing this one apart. Okay, good is bad. Immutable facts like someone's gender can now be whatever it wants. Homosexuality may not be a mental illness, but transgenderism is. Just in the way that someone who thinks he is Napoleon or Hitler is insane, believing that you are something you are not is touchstone of insanity, and thanks to the capture of academia by the far left. Okay,
First,
so no,
one
let me
thing I have
comment
to
this
say.
fucking idiot
One thing.
first.
First off,
I'm gonna lose
this
my
has
thought.
nothing to do with Napoleon or Hitler or being someone that you're out. This is
Well,
the gender.
I know what this guy's trying to say.
Yeah.
He's basically trying to say that gay people are mentally ill because we're trying to be something we're not. Because, again, in this ridiculous idiot's mind, this conservative's mind, is that there's no such thing as a gay person. There's just people who are straight, who are fucked up, and
Well, he
take on this identity of gay.
He agrees homosexuality may not be a mental illness, but transgenderism is because they're believing something that they
No,
are
to
quote
say
unquote not.
may not be. He says may
Oh,
not be.
may not,
It's
yeah.
not a fucking mental illness. It hasn't been. It was never a fucking mental illness in the eyes of actual scientists.
And that aside, the transgenderism is, according to him.
Yeah, and for those of you who are going to say, oh, it was a mental illness before the DSM-3 and 4 and blah, 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 or DSM-2, 3, 4, whatever, I want to just point this out right now. It was labeled as a mental illness by conservative Christians, and if you look into the history of it, look into Dr. Evelyn Hooker and her student Sam. Look into that, and you'll find out that way before the 40s and 50s and 60s and 70s, before it was removed as a mental illness, it turns out it never was. Even Freud said it wasn't a mental illness, even though we don't take much of his stuff on face
Just
value
like-
anymore. We don't take anything he says on face value anymore. It's still, he even realized it wasn't a mental illness. And it was put that way by conservative Christians, so reality-wise, it never was a mental illness. This guy, leaves that open, the question. Now, war's love, well, I can easily break that down. Why are we in, what president put us in the wars that we're in right now? Not Obama, Bush. What was Bush? Bush was a liberal, right? Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. He wasn't a liberal. He was a fucking conservative.
What do you mean? But what's bad? What is good? I mean,
What, there is no such thing. Okay,
Yeah.
in the mind of a scientist, there's no such thing as good and bad. There's ethical and unethical. Ethical is that does it help other people out or not? If it doesn't help anyone out but doesn't harm anyone, it's neutral. If it helps people, it's ethical. It does its good thing. If it hurts people in any way, it's unethical.
like murder or rape.
Or dumb fucks like this. So, okay, moving on.
Yep. Let's see if
Scroll up.
anyone pops up here.
Scroll down. Scroll up. Scroll,
okay.
scroll. There you go. That one right there. Relic.
This one.
Dot relic.
So no one talks about the other side of the story. What we
The
did.
side where the
There's-
transgender identity affects the lives of others to fuel his selfish last wish. And I like how he puts his selfish
There's
last
more.
wish.
Oh my God.
Seriously.
Fuck
Oh my God,
this.
yes. Seriously, he lost all cred when he decided to make someone else end his life. Did the driver want to be involved in something so devastating? How is he going to live on knowing what happened?
To interrupt, she threw herself in front of a truck, a semi-truck,
Yeah.
to kill herself. And so he's saying that she was selfish by doing this, and I lost all respect for her. What the fuck ever.
Well, he's not
continue.
calling her. He's calling he. He's not even calling the person. He's not even calling her by her gender.
That aside.
But that just shows the bigotry there. But of course, yes, killing yourself is considered a selfish act, right? It is considered a selfish act because what about everyone else who cares about you? But the reality is this person was pushed beyond the breaking limit. It's a child. Children don't make the most rational decisions.
And she felt like...
And she felt like there was no out.
Yes, and there was no one that cared for her, in her mindset. Because her friends abandoned her, her family abandoned her and rejected her. No support. It was bullying at home, bullying online, bullying at school, bullying at church. Where's the fucking out?
There is no out, except for death. That's what the person believed. So this is what the person continues to write. What about the cargo the semi was carrying? What if it was damaged or it was time-sensitive shipment? What if the driver was terminated from his job? The small business might have suffered from the delay in their cargo.
How dare she fucking have a mental breakdown through all that fucking stress? How dare she? This is like after you beat someone up and leave them for dead, and they come back and to the police and say, well, what about me? And they're like, oh, of course everything has to be about you.
Yeah. Or the police basically side with the criminal, which in the cases of us gay people, they usually do. Look at Luke O'Donovan. Go search him right now on Google. Luke, and it's O-Donovan.
Yeah.
Or not, sorry, not hyphen, but...
Continuing this fucking bullshit here, you got to acknowledge this side too. If it was a selfish act to potentially put other lives in danger, potentially threaten a small amount of economic growth in the area. I don't particularly agree with the trans movement, but in my honest opinion, it wasn't his message that was wrong. It was the way he decided to carry it out that makes his last act crumble. Well, I guess she should have just slit her wrist. If she slit her wrist, this guy would have nothing to fucking say. Nothing. Absolutely fucking nothing. He would have nothing but support for this person because she took herself out in a way that probably wouldn't harm anyone.
No, he doesn't. He says he doesn't particularly agree with the trans movement.
Right. Well, you know what I mean, though. Regarding everything else he just fucking said. Fucking argument thrown out the window if she just slit her wrists. But then again, he probably would have come up with some other thing to say, like, oh, well, imagine all the cleanup that they had to do in the house. She could have fucking ruined the bathtub. That fucking selfish bitch.
Yeah, this guy's a fucking idiot. Moving on.
Let's see, transgender woman. I need to say this: parents don't get an instruction manual when their children are born. We can judge them. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty sound.
Scroll up. Open up the replies.
Okay, well, let's go through the comment then. But honestly, it's not fair. Parents are just doing what they can with the belief system and perspective that they have. Forgive them for some of their blunders. There are no classes on dealing with having a trans child, which there should be. And most people are not going to give sound or appropriate advice about it. It is hard. You don't know what to do. I think that's how we're ended there.
But, I mean... Those friends send to the church. What?
She's referring to these parents as sick human beings, and yeah, I agree. They were fucking disgusting.
Christianity
what they did.
needs to be stopped. Let's scroll down.
Yeah.
So, Christianity. That's why a few decent Christians constantly struggle with their faith day in and day out, while those who are solid in their faith act like this. I don't think the problem is
the people.
It's religion. Christianity needs to be stopped. Yesterday. Oh, and whatever counselors tried to help her should have their licenses stripped. They don't have licenses. They do not have licenses.
They should be malpractice, in my opinion. They should be fucking incarcerated for malpractice. It's like practicing medicine without a fucking license.
Yes, and here's something I mentioned earlier, and I actually wrote a piece about this. I'm pretty sure Andy will post it later on. I'm not 100% sure. I do not like posting my work, but Andy loves it, so I'll let him be the decider of that. But if he wants to post my piece, he's more than welcome. But the thing that I wrote about was the mindset of these people, the mindset of the counselors. I kind of lost my thought a little bit there, but I mean, these people who tried to help her, they weren't counselors. They were pastors. They had no licensing, and as Andy said, they should be incarcerated. Well, let's say that they were not working with a gay person or a transgender person. They were working with a straight person, and they caused that person to commit suicide. That pastor would actually go to jail. If parents bullied their own children to the point of this kind of suicide, going back to the one person's comment about economic harm, those parents would be incarcerated for child abuse. They would be incarcerated for complicity to commit murder because their child committed suicide because of what they put their child through. There would have been so many charges pushed on them for what they did. And the reality is that because this person is transgender, and we see this with gay kids all the time, if you kick your kid out in the street, guess what happens? You kick your kid, he's straight, he goes out in the street and he complains to school or whatever, you're going to jail. You do it to a gay kid, that's your religion, you're perfectly fine. 45% of homeless youth are LGBT. 45%, that's half. Half are gay and transgender. What the fuck? But nothing happens to those fucking parents, ever.
Yep.
Nothing happened to these parents, and nothing will happen to these parents. What kind of fucked up system is that? Well, that's the system we live in.
Yep.
And it needs to stop. And I wrote my paper about that. because it's just I wrote my little piece about it because it's disgusting. You know, if this was if this was any other kid that wasn't LGB or T, guess what? The parents would be going to fucking jail.
Yeah.
It needs to stop. There's so little protection for gay children.
Oh, here we
out
go.
there.
This